All right, happy to have on, appreciate her time, Shauna Green, Illini women's basketball coach. After a fantastic season, Shauna, appreciate the time, especially as you guys get ready for postseason play.
No problem. Love jumping on with you, and yeah, we're getting prepared for practice in a couple hours, and then we're heading out right after that to Minneapolis.
Well, it's almost March, right? We're a day away from March, and we want to look ahead to this postseason because we're so excited around here that Illinois women's basketball is the postseason to really get excited about. But can you humor us and look back, be a little retrospective about this season? Because 21-8, 11-7 in the Big Ten, Shauna, that just hasn't happened around here for a really long time. So how did it happen? Why did it happen with this group?
First off, just our players. Our players have been unbelievable, and our staff, everyone from day one, when we got this job of just laying the groundwork, starting, just developing and instilling our culture here. And our players just from believing and buying in from the very beginning, and their work ethic. And, they just, everything that we've asked of them, they've really tried to do it, and they've bought in. And, it really has been I don't think I have fully, I haven't had time to really reflect on it. And after the season, maybe I'll take a little bit of time and appreciate it all more. But it's just, when you look at it, if anyone would have told me we'd be 21-8 and finish, 11-7 in the Big Ten, like, obviously those were the plans we had for this program, but I don't know if I thought it happened this quickly. So it's just been such a fun ride and unbelievable journey this year, and just really, really happy for our young women. They deserve it.
What did surprise you about this team? Because obviously you would love to have this season, the first year, but I mean, it's surprising, I think, for everybody, including yourself. So what did surprise you about what they were able to do?
Just their ability to really rise to the moment, and all of the times where we needed, to get a win, or we needed to bounce back, or we needed to, do something. Like, they've always just been ready to go, and that's, I think, the biggest thing, especially in this first year when they don't, we're kind of going through everything for the first time together, the good times, the adversity, everything. And they just continue to be in the moment. And I don't think nothing got too high, nothing got too low. We just kind of stayed in that moment and just kept working every day. And I think that's what's really worked for this group. They've been present, and they've been able to grow because of that.
Did you send a text to Terry Moran that she stole the Big Ten Coach of the Year award? She's very deserving what she's done at Indiana, but she had to have that year when you have this year.
Yeah, no, she's what she's built there, from the very beginning. They were in a similar position to our program. We probably had more, success in terms of tradition than Indiana had. Obviously ours has been a long time, but, she's on her 9th year now, and to be able to get that program to where it is right now, just nothing but respect for her and Indiana. I think I always said I thought they were the best team this year that we played, just offensively, defensively, every piece that really you need to make a deep run in March. I believe they have it. So congrats to all of them.
Go ahead, Wagner. You can go ahead.
Shauna, I know I'm maybe a little bit late here, but I know you talked about the Notre Dame scrimmage before the season is kind of that, but there was even maybe that February kind of figure it out moment for you guys. Like, how did you guys battle through that? And I mean, just for a team that's never been there, and to keep that course going.
Yeah, you're right, Joe. We all, I think, would put back to the Notre Dame scrimmage to when we kind of had that confidence and the belief. But then you look at, I think, another defining moment, like you said, was really the last few weeks where we were kind of just teetering there of, which way are we going to go? We weren't playing like ourselves for, a couple of weeks, but we still managed to get some wins in there. And I think that's really critical as you build a program. When you don't play your best basketball, you can still find a way to win. And especially in a league like the Big Ten, like, those could have easily been some losses in there that our team found a way to make plays in order to win us some games. And same thing, we had some injuries, that could have been that at a team that's not that deep, those could have been, catastrophic. I mean, we could have lost a couple of those games in there. So just the resiliency of this team and how people have just always kind of, again, they've come up and risen to the occasion, right? Like they've everyone's just stepped up, and there's just no doubt. They just continue to believe.
Yeah, I know you talked about the injuries. Shauna, obviously you're dealing with some down the back end here. How did you see, I know it was a loss, but even the Rutgers game, how did you see that response from those guys? Well, it was two, right? Like it was Genesis at one point, and then you kind of lose two players. Like what would you learn about the response there?
Yeah, that's some toughness, and that's what I want in our program. If there's things we want this program to be built on, it's grit, it's toughness, it's kind of that blue collar mentality. It doesn't matter, if we have 5 healthy players, we're going to go out there and we're going to compete, and we're competing to win. So I thought that was just, I could not be more proud of our team, from the Nebraska game when we found a way to win, when Jen went out, to even, at Rutgers when, we're playing, people out of position, and to come in and perform like we performed. I thought we played it really well, and very, very disciplined in our scout, and and we're going to need that going into Big Ten play, but just really proud of our team. I can't say that enough, just how they just continue to handle stuff. And it's not perfect. Life's not perfect. Nothing's perfect. And you got to figure it out, because really no one feels sorry for you. No one cares. You got to figure it out. And that's what I'm most proud of.
Shauna, 3 players got all Big Ten accolades today. Makaira, first team, first line in a decade to get that. Kendall and Genesis both get second team. And I think of all these stories, they all took significant steps this year, right? I mean, Makaira playing at a higher level, Genesis at a new school in a much bigger role. And then Kendall, obviously you wanted her to be more aggressive, and she seems to be rewarded for that. So as you look at all those honors for those 3 players, what do you think of with them?
I'm so happy for them. I mean, they all do. They all have their own, kind of their own journey and their own story. But for us to get that much recognition and to get a first team, unanimous, Makaira's unanimous, coaches, media, and then KB and Jen to get on the second team. I mean, in this league, like that was hard for me, even voting for that first team. I'm like, shoot, there's so many great players. So if you can get first, second team in this league, it says a lot about them as players, and just they're so deserving. Their work ethic, how they approach every single day. They've just been so consistent for us all year, and just really, really happy that, the league rewarded them, and the coaches saw, their value, and also the media saw their value. So it's like I saw that, and I was so happy that they got that recognition, because it's very much deserving.
Shauna, after every game early in the season, when there might not have been a lot of fans, and then late in the season, you kept asking fans to come support this team. They did. What was that like? I know you want more and more to keep showing up, but to get 5,000 at some games, 6,000 at a game or two, like what was that like for you as a coach?
Again, it was awesome. I mean, it was amazing. And our players, for our players to be able to see that, especially, someone like KB, someone like, the Dell and Jada and Jayla, who were here last year. I think KB in our last media, someone had asked her that. And like she said, it's amazing to see where last year they might have gotten, 1,000, if that, and now to see 6,000 and 5,000 consistently in those last how many home games. It's just, that's what it should be about. That's what women's basketball should be about. That's, these women deserve it. They deserve to be able to run out and have people support them, all the work they put in, and they're winning, and people like winners. I mean, I know that, like, no one wants to go and watch a brand of basketball that they don't think is fun, or they're not competitive. So I said that, day one, I said, I'm going to do, my job of trying to put out a great brand of basketball. And I need, the communities to pull up and do their end and to come to games. And, just could not be more grateful to everyone that showed up. And hopefully we can just keep building from here.
Shauna, I know both you and Teresa had talked about that first year, like you've got to be out there and you've got to be available for people to talk to or listen to, like, not difficult, but like how rewarding was it to see that come back to you? Because I'm sure there were times you probably wanted to say, we got a game in a day. Like, I don't want to do this, but like to get that back all the way full force in year one, like what did that tell you about what this job can be and what it currently is?
Yeah, you're right. There's, once you get into season, it's like you get in a one-track mind of prep and wanting to prepare for games. But I knew that coming in. I knew that, we hadn't had that tradition. We hadn't had recent success. So I knew that it was going to be key for me to be out and for our team to be out and get, just get in front of our community. And that's something that I've always believed in anyways. In women's basketball, there has to be that bond. There has to be those relationships. I think, the community needs to know me. They need to know our team. So that was my biggest thing is I'll do whatever I need to do. I said I haven't said no to one speaking engagement, up until I think I had my first no just in the past couple of weeks, just because it was in April, May, and didn't work out. But I'm going to continue to be out there. I'm going to continue to do everything we can to keep promoting women's basketball and getting people to come out and support it. And I also think it's been great that we had a ton of Illinois high school basketball teams come through. We had, I think last game, we might have 15 or so teams there. So just us getting that connection out and inviting, our state schools to, high schools to come down and join us, I think has been really cool and rewarding. I know for myself and for our staff to see that support within just the high schools as well.
I guess maybe relative to when you took this, what would you learn about where this program can be, or the hunger to see where this program can go?
What my vision was and what I thought and why really I took it was I thought it was kind of a sleeping giant. I always said, like, why can't Illinois, why can't they win? Like you have a great recruiting ground now with the brand new facility that we're in right now. And then just, our administration, everything that's going on, the academics, everything on this campus right now, I just think is going up. And, men's basketball is winning, football's now winning. Like, why can't women's basketball win? And that's really, that challenge is why I decided to take this. And now it gives me more motivation because I see, I see the support. I see, like I said, the high schools, how much they've really been engaged. I've seen the recruiting now that we're gaining some traction after this, season of some winning. Like, I just think that there's so much still out there and we just got to continue to take steps, forward with this program, but the sky's the limit. And we just got to really hit the ground running too. And I'll take advantage of this year and the recruiting aspect of it.
Shauna, I heard Josh Whitman the other day say you thought this could be a legacy job. He usually doesn't embellish. So that, number one, that true?
His vision to me, when he talked to me, which, was almost about a year ago, right. We're getting up to almost a year now, was that he said, you can come here and leave a legacy because there hasn't been, in a long, long time, really, any success. And, and that was something for me, the competitor in me was, I liked that because I knew that there hadn't been a lot done lately. Mm-hmm. And we could come and we could turn that. And then that was what I really have been selling to recruits. Like, you can come here and leave a legacy. You can come here and do something that hasn't been done, and, in a long, long time, or something that's never been done, and those are the type of kids, to be honest with you, that I want anyways on our team. I want those kids that have a little chip on their shoulder. I want, the kids that go against the grain a little bit and, not go to the, so-called schools that have already arrived. And, that's my personality. And that's where, again, thinking back of when people said I was crazy for taking this job, I'm like, no, like, if you believe in what you do, if you believe in the people that are here in the administration, if you have the resources and the facilities, and bet on yourself and go and do it. So it's been a really fun year. And like I said, this is just a starting point. We got to continue to grow and continue to just keep getting better every single day.
Shauna, I don't know how much bracketology work you do, but how do you feel about your NCAA tournament resume heading into the Big Ten tournament?
I was just on it this morning looking, and I said I follow the net and bracketology more than I follow the stock market. So it's
one of us.
I still like where we're at. I mean, I feel good. I think, I'd feel a heck of a lot better if we could win that Thursday game. But if you look at our net, you look at our quad 1 wins, our quad 2, and then you look at some of the other teams that are right in there. I mean, we finished tied for 5th, right, in the Big Ten, which was one of the toughest leagues in the country. So we got the 6th seed. I just don't see how, we can't. I mean, how can they not take 6 or 7 teams from this league at the depth and how just brutal of a league it is every single night. So, I feel really good, but I also know I've spent, the majority of my, coaching experience out of mid-major, and where you literally, you don't feel good until you hear your name on Selection Sunday.
How have you handled that? I know we talked a lot during the regular season, about how you've handled that. But now that the regular season is over, have you had conversations since Sunday with your team about where you think they are, or just kind of giving them a heads up, or do you get through the Big Ten tournament first?
Yeah, we had yesterday off, so we haven't talked anything. Today will be our first time, seeing them, and I talked to them lead into Rutgers. I told them how big of a game that was. And I explained how we dropped, certain points in the net after, the Nebraska game, and how every game and how you play matters, with the net, how you play matters. And even if you lose, it's how do you lose and how do you win? So they knew, even going into Rutgers, we had talked about that and about how every point's critical, right? When you're looking at the net, when you're on the bubble or feel like you're on the bubble, every point matters. And so they were very aware of that. And I give them credit, because I felt early on the season, I never talked to them about that, but I told them we're mature enough, we're veteran enough in terms of being able to handle that information. So now it's just about the Big Ten tournament, and let's go out there and just solidify, and do what we do. I mean, that's all it is right now. We just got to go out there and it's win or go home mindset. So everything's changed now that you get into the postseason.
I just saw Ryan walk through, and it reminded me that you guys have 100 wins together, Shauna, as a coaching staff. If you think back to that first one, how meaningful is it for you to get 100 with them, and for them to have taken this leap with you to a new program?
I think it's really, actually, when you think about it, you don't see it a lot now, right? Like in college sports, everyone's moving, everyone's jumping, everyone's trying to get to the next best thing. I will really, I want to be a head coach no matter what. Like, they're going to be head coaches. I know that they're all fully capable and are going to be unbelievable head coaches when that moment comes. But for us to be together for this long and be able to have the success that we've had together, I've told you guys this before, I think that's why we've been able to kind of expedite some of the success, is because of a staff that really is all on the same page, and we know each other. We're like family. So I think that's why we've been able to kind of do this a little bit quicker. And I'm just so grateful, to each and every one of them for believing and me and this job, and for continuing to be loyal, because loyalty in this profession is it's not out there as much as it used to be. And to have these guys stick with us and just how hard they work, how they go about their business. They're unbelievable coaches, but more importantly, they're unbelievable people. And you're only as good as people around you. This job is, you can only have success if you have really great people that you trust around you. And I trust them with our program. I trust them with my life, and just so grateful to each and every one of them.
Shauna, I don't know if this is much different than Joey's question, and just to have a few more for you, but this team doesn't have a lot of NCAA tournament experience, obviously, on it. So if you guys get there, as you expect and should, how do you approach that as a coach? Can you prepare a team for a tournament if they haven't been there?
I think that's some of the good and bad about youth, and they don't know what they don't know. And I actually saw that, at times last year, we were like ultra veteran team with our Dayton team, 6-year seniors, 5th-year seniors. And sometimes they wanted it so much because they knew it was their last chance that almost it can sometimes backfire on you, right? So I think these guys, in some ways, it's like, they just go and play the game, and they don't overthink a lot of things. And I think that can be really good too. And that's where I think it also comes down to leadership and coaches. And, it's my job with an inexperienced tournament team to prepare them and to get them to understand, what it's about. Makira played last year in the NCAA tournament. Bryn didn't play a ton, but Bryn obviously has the experience. Jen didn't play, but had, she's seen success. She's been in an NCAA tournament environment. And then obviously our coaching staff, we've all been there. I've been to an Elite Eight. Calamity's been to an Elite Eight. Ryan's been to a Sweet 16. We understand what it takes, and it's our job to prepare them and get them ready, but more importantly, to enjoy this experience and to learn and just make the most out of it.
And last one for me is obviously the off season's a ways away here, not too far, but what does success in year one do for you for the long term, Shauna?
Anytime you win, it's huge, right? Because now you have something to build on. Now you have something. It's not just, you still have your vision, but you have some concrete facts that, we had this many wins. We beat these teams. We were ranked. We hopefully make an NCAA tournament. Like, that's factual, and it's not a total vision. There's still part of the vision of where we want to get to. But I think, and I know, because I've seen it, like, that's what kids, there's valid facts that we can show them, and recruiting wise, that's huge. And as you guys know, I mean, recruiting is the main thing and the lifeline, right? So, and then developing and taking care of your players when they're here. So this year has been huge, and we got to take advantage of it, and hopefully we can get some, transfer here or there, this off season, and then the 24 class, hopefully it will solidify and we can get a couple of these top kids that we're on, locked up.
All right, Joey's got one more before we get out.
The last one for me, just to build off the recruiting, Shauna, you guys go in after you have a full cycle here on 24s. You're not coming in late, and we still have a lot of opportunity. You've got these wins in this season. How encouraging, I guess, is that, or how to go into an off season knowing that you're not playing from behind, you're not playing from fighting uphill with the program that struggled. It feels maybe more even ground than it was a year ago when you walked in.
No doubt about it. I feel a hell of a lot better going into this off season than last off season. Now the facility is completely done, right? We have some wins and a little bit of success under us. We've had the opportunity to recruit, this class now for a year or even a year plus. Some of these kids we've been recruiting, when we were at Dayton. So with all that put together, I just feel like the momentum is going in that right direction. And now it's just about, you got to get them to say yes. And, those official visits will be happening. Hope some of those will happen in, the spring, now that we can bring them in. And I just think it's, last year at this time, obviously it was all a vision. And then we also didn't have this facility that was done where we brought them through it, and they're like, oh, you can kind of see it. But now you're sitting out there right now, Joey, you walk into that. So it's a lot different than walking into, a half constructed facility. So all good things happening, but we gotta get some of these guys to still believe, because we're still not we're still not the shiniest thing and the coolest thing out there, but I don't care. I don't care about that. I want kids, like I said, that believe and that believe in, doing something, again, that hasn't been done in a long time, and to come here and be able to leave a legacy. And I'm super excited about it. I love the kids that we're recruiting right now in our 24 class. I think we're in a really good place with some of them, and just gotta finish it.
Well, Shauna Green, you made a lot of people believe in a lot of women's basketball, and you guys start the postseason on Thursday up in Minneapolis at the Big Ten tournament. Play either Northwestern or Rutgers in that matchup. We'll see how far you go there, and can't wait for Selection Sunday. I know it could be a little nerve-wracking, but I think you guys are in a good spot as well. So, Shauna, appreciate all the time, and congrats on all the success so far this year.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys.